This was such a fun watch. I am so excited for everyone else to finally get to see now what I just got to watch. It's
Well,
incredible.
thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do want to take it back to the beginning, Matthew, and hear how this whole thing started, where this idea came from.
Yeah. Well, when I first wrote this, it was back in 2019, and there was a kind of general anxiety around that time, which I don't think has gotten a whole lot better now that it seemed like we're kind of moving into this like post-factual time, right? Where it nothing feels like it is as set in stone as we'd like to believe. The truth can be, mangled and distributed and completely reshape other people's views on their own personal reality because of that. That was sort of the core of what I was taking from today and bringing back to 1989 and the Satanic Panic, where something else just like that is happening there. It's just a lot more fun to do this with the backdrop of heavy metal, horror movies, John Hughes, all of those kinds of things. So that's what sort of that was the tie that brought me from today to 1989, and from there everything else just kind of sprung.
I do want to get into that. But David, I want to ask you now, what was it about this project? How did you first get involved?
Watching this teenage boy make these really bad decisions, and then also watching all the adults making really bad decisions, and everything driven by fear, everything driven by you know not understanding what's going on, and I related to so much of this script and was just love the humor, love the horror, love the crime procedural. This script is one of my favorite scripts because it did everything, and so it was so exciting to get to help Matt realize his vision of the show and work with him and make and creatively you create a creative partnership that delivers. I think I'm very excited for people to see the show.
There's a lot of Easter eggs in there, like, we've Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist and The Omen and even The Gate. I remember where they played the music backwards. Um, where do you where do you feel like Hysteria falls in the tradition of these kind of projects?
Well, I certainly feel like we made a show about this time period in the tone of the films that they were afraid of. Right? We made a satanic tinged horror show about people being afraid of Satan. I think it took a lot of influence from the horror films of the 1980s, but films at large in the 1980s. It's pulling from John Hughes, it's pulling from John Carpenter, it's pulling from all over the place. Certainly the Evil Dead films, certainly Reanimator was a major influence on me as a teen. Everything in that world, not just the look and feel of the filmmaking style, but the way these stories are told and the horror of them as well. So I hope it feels like it's not meant to feel like one big homage, but I think it's there. We definitely tip our hat to a lot of the greats in this one.
What was your favorite 80s song that you were able to get into this series?
Oh, that's a great question.
Hmm.
Well, I never thought we would be able to get Heaven is a Place on Earth. And so that's almost the proudest achievement, is getting that song in there. But David,
I should have an answer to this, and I don't. But I mean, so many of the you know, I was so excited by learning about heavy metal because that really wasn't something I knew anything about, and Matt gave me a real education about it. And I love Number of the Beast. I can't believe how much I love that song now, and I love watching Kiara sing it. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in the show is
yeah,
watching this band perform in the pilot and Kara just nails it. That's her voice, and it's probably that's my experience. It's like I had my own '80s experience now doing the show.